So, hey guys! Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to price your candles. So your pricing is definitely going to need to take into consideration what your costs are. So you want to start with that video. We'll drop the link below. If you haven't watched it already, come back to this video next and start with the video on determining your cost of goods. So if you've already watched that video and you know what your cost of goods are, you're now ready to start pricing your products. And there's a few considerations and steps in market research that you want to take. The biggest thing I find is that candle makers are often undercharging for their products, and they feel that they just can't get the price that they want in their market for their products or for the level of luxury or quality that they offer. So I'm here to tell you that if you are interested in selling your products for a premium, you definitely want to watch this video, because I'll walk you through how to determine what the appropriate price is for your candles. So I always start in one place, and that place is market research. If you have a luxury brand, take your time, research plenty of other luxury candle brands. You especially would like to look for those that have any sort of similarities to your brand. So if you're using a marble vessel, or you're using a lid, or nice packaging, look for brands that also have those same qualities to them, and ideally look for products that are a similar size to yours. You don't want to compare a 5-ounce tin to a 13-ounce candle, because the prices will be totally different. So look for similar products in a similar place. I like to just compile them as a spreadsheet and have the product name and the price. That way I can compile 10, 15 or more options, and I can look at kind of generally what's going on in the market and what others are doing. And if they're successful brands, that's generally who I'm trying to look towards. I can see a great market example for what people may be willing to pay for that product. So in that same token, you want to ask, where does my customer shop? Is this candle being made for somebody who shops value and bargain, or is this candle being made for somebody who shops luxury or natural products? Again, that will all tie into your market research, so you can determine what your customer is willing to pay for the product that you're selling. Next, you also need to take into consideration your cost of goods. So head on over with me to my computer, and we're gonna crunch some numbers, and I can explain to you guys how to price your products if you're selling retail and wholesale. Be right back. Okay, so now that we've done our market research and we've also determined what our costs are, now we can look at actually pricing our products. So simple formula that you guys can use. You may want to use a different formula if you don't plan to sell wholesale, which means that you're not going to sell to retail stores or other businesses that will resell your products. So if you plan to sell wholesale, please keep in mind that most wholesale stores expect a 50% reduction on your retail price, and you definitely want to keep that in mind when you're pricing out the retail price for your candles. So a formula that most candle makers use, it's very tried and true, is 4 times your cost will be your retail price, and 2 times your cost will be your wholesale price. So we have our cost of goods listed right here. I don't typically, especially for a product like this one that's priced at a higher premium, like to go down to the exact 4x amount. So I am just going to use $60 as my price point, which is roughly, it's a little bit under 4x of what my costs are here. And clearly this is a luxury candle that we're making. So my wholesale price is going to be half of that. We'll call this your retail cost, and your wholesale cost will be $30. So if we do the math, basically what you will do is you're going to take your retail cost, subtract your retail price, and you're going to subtract your cost, and then you're going to divide that by your retail price. So that is going to give us our margin on the product. So you would have approximately a 74% margin on your retail, and on your wholesale, we're going to follow that same formula. You'll take your wholesale price, you will subtract your costs, and you are going to divide it by your wholesale price, and that's going to give us about a 49% margin. So pretty close to a 50% margin. These are super, super healthy margins for you guys. You can also, depending on your market research, which is critical to this piece, you can bring these costs up or down. If you feel you can charge more for your product based on your market research, great, do it. If you feel you need to be more competitive, then you may want to consider taking a lower margin and bringing these costs down a bit. You can of course play with that right here. Now that we have our margin in this column, you could see, what does it look like if I charge $55 retail and $27.50 wholesale. And you can play around with that and determine what sort of margins you'll have based on the price point that you feel suits your market and that your customer is willing to pay. So hopefully this video really helped you guys to determine your price point. And if you have questions about what you feel you should be charging for your product, I definitely suggest you join our Facebook group. The name of it is Woodwick Candle Making. You can get constructive feedback and just insight from our community on what they think of your price point based on what type of candle you're selling. Feedback is critical in this kind of beginning stage of determining your branding and your pricing, so the more feedback that you can get, the better. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel to stay in the know on all the latest makers tips and tricks. Happy making!